Hi, welcome to karaoke night. Put your name down on a piece of paper, choose a song. When it's your turn, we'll come and grab you. You can make a fool of yourself in public. Coming up now, Erasure. Please make your way to the stage. And hello Vince, hello Andy. What song have you picked? ABBA, Take a Chance on Me? Oh, you want to do 4 songs, you say? You want to do 4 ABBA songs? Okay. Well, over to you then. This is a strange video. Hi everybody, anyway, how you doing? Welcome to Now 22. It's a Monday morning, but it doesn't really feel like it. I'm in good spirits today. I feel we are where we are. The world's having a bit of a breather. Natural equilibrium. Obviously, to those who've had loved ones who've suffered, immense sympathy. That's not good at all. I'm just trying to take a more holistic view. That the world as a whole is healing now. And as I say that, I'm looking at 2 grown men dressed as the women from ABBA. Yeah, so basically it's a mad world, that's for sure. And we kick off Now 22 with Erasure doing Karaoke Hour. And it's 4 ABBA songs, the ABBA-esque EP. Bit like the Pet Shop Boys, these guys are now becoming a bit of a parody. 80s bleepy synth pop was good, but into the 90s it almost seems to be having to... Well, it just seems to be having to kind of sell itself short with these sort of campy jokes instead of just relying on actually musical progress. Vince, I think, is wasted a bit here. I mean, obviously it's a great ABBA song and stuff, but it is just karaoke. Was it a charity record? I don't know. It's kind of getting on my wick now already. Let's put something else on. Okay, now in the last one, I mentioned Ce Peniston, and We Got a Love Thang, which was actually the follow-up to her first single, which was then re-released, was a monster hit. On the viewing front, we're at 27 million views here, which is pretty rad. It's Ce Peniston, and finally, prime kind of deep house, piano house kind of classic. Now, where does deep house become a happy house? And is this happy, or is it deep, or is it funky? House connoisseurs can let us know. So Ce Peniston. That's followed up by KWS, Please Don't Go, which really isn't one of the best dance songs of all time. It's another karaoke one. Maybe they should have put Finally first song, because that's like an original. Certainly a run of covers now. Please Don't Go by KWS. I think the K stands for King, as in Chris King, who was the Northern Soul DJ. So I don't want to totally hate on him, because anyone who's into Northern was pretty rad. But I said rad twice. It's because it's 1992. I try and use the vocabulary of the time. Anyway, yeah, Please Don't Go. Pretty mediocre kind of cover of a mediocre song. It's really not going very well so far, is it? We've got Take That next, which was their first appearance, with Only Takes a Minute. I think it was a Jonathan King song. Or he did a version of it, if not the original. How do I even know that? I mean, the one thing I'll say about the Take That thing is it's better than Jonathan King. But I think as the 90s go on, I'm going to find myself saying it's more and more boy band, just pass. Me having an opinion, me wasting my breath on sort of describing boy band songs, it's not worth it. Number one, these boy bands are probably split up 20 years ago, and they're probably granddads by now. Number two, I wasn't their target audience then, and I'm certainly not now. So I feel like I don't really have a valid opinion on it, other than if it takes up space on a Now album, that could have gone to someone else. So I think, in a way, that's a very dangerous precedent started with It Only Takes a Minute. It's like the cancer of boy bands is just starting to make its way felt. Is it a cancer with the Beatles not a boy band? Let's go through the nows. I'm not going to prejudge it. Let's judge them on their musical merits, and we'll take it from there. I could be pleasantly surprised. I'm not a big fan of It Only Takes a Minute, though. It's yuck. Another cover now. Blimey. Nick Berry and Heartbeat theme, which I think is an old Buddy Holly song. Heartbeat series was massive throughout the 90s. And it's not bad. In fact, it's probably better than Take That, to be honest. Not bad cover from the Every Loser Win guys. Every Loser Wins guy, should I say. So yeah, this first really only finally has been any good so far. We've had like pretty much 5 shit songs to start things off. Is this a sign of things to come? Or can something radically different be pulled out the bag? Well, song 6 is kind of a step up, kind of. Certainly, compared to some of the other stuff, it's absolute light years ahead. It's Snap and Rhythm is a Dancer. Now, Snap had a really good hit a couple of years ago with The Power. This one sort of came back from nowhere, and I'm really surprised it made number 1, really. It's had 18 million views. It's obviously still popular. And it kind of sets the template in some ways for the Euro dance. Technotronic and people had already kind of started. Production values have leapt up another level now. It's all very kind of, I won't say gothic, but very, very big and kind of cathedral-like. Ludicrous lyrics. This is that one that has Turbo B saying he's as serious as cancer. Rhythm is a dancer. Really bad rap section in this. I like the melody. It's a great melody. She's got a great vocal. That's undeniable. The music's just a bit kind of lumpy, really. It's not that funky for a dance song. I never really know why it makes people dance. The beat's a bit kind of quiet. It's just not that banging. It's all very low in the mix. And it kind of reminds me of Casualty music, those sort of things, those synths. So it's a 6 out of 10. Now, finally, something good, something very good. And it's the Utah Saints. This is the first real, well, I suppose finally is a bit of a classic. But first one that I really, really like. Let's get the original version. It is Utah Saints, Something Good, featuring Kate Bush, Cloud Busting, kind of stadium rave, I guess you call it. Definitely in the KLF kind of paradigm. Loads of kind of crowds and stuff. That sort of weird Amiga guitar noise. One of those bands who keep saying their own name in it. I actually preferred probably, what's it called? What Can You Do For Me? Which had Gwen Guthrie and Annie Lennox vocals. This is a pretty reasonable follow-up, and in some ways it's probably more popular. Definitely seen as a dance classic, and they're from local. I think they're from Harrogate, so not far from here, about 5 miles. Utah Saints. Okay, we follow it up with another classic. Suddenly the floodgates have opened. It's like all the shit's been got out of the way early. Now we can relax into a really good album. And it is The Cure, Friday I'm in Love. Let's stick this one on as well. It's like London buses. You wait for a good song and then 3 come on at once. Yeah, but Friday I'm in Love. Now, I'd mentioned on High last time that they were about to have a really big song. This is probably one of The Cure's most famous songs. Maybe second only to Love Cats. Maybe Boys Don't Cry. Maybe even more famous than Boys Don't Cry. In terms of stats, an epic, absolutely epic, 68 million views. So The Cure were back again, and they really, really managed to go into the 90s with real great kind of success, really. Certainly the early 90s. Yeah, lovely song. Very kind of what you see is what you get in a way with it, which you don't expect from The Cure. It's very direct. And it's just joyous, really. It's just a really happy, joyous song from a band that are sort of... You never really know where they're coming at emotionally. They're kind of dark, yet they're also kind of quirky. So yeah, brilliant song. Great pop song. Followed by another good one, The Days of Pearly Spencer. Okay, it's another cover. It's Mark Almond. He's now back again. And he's doing another sort of talk songy kind of thing. I think the original was by someone called David McWilliams back in the 60s. And it's very 60s, very late 60s. Very kind of dramatic. Now, it's camp, but in a different way from Erasure. Erasure is literally men wearing women's clothes and pretending to be women and being very, like, kind of gay in a stereotypical way. The Days of Pearly Spencer, it's camp in a different way. It's not like kind of... I don't know, it's more kind of show busy and theatrical, let's say. Lovey, that kind of thing. But it actually works really well. Now, we follow this one up with The Beautiful South. We've really adapted to the change of decade from the late 80s to the early 90s. Bell Bottoms is a very, very nice song. Brianna Corrigan's vocals are really, really good on it. It's a bit of a kind of forerunner to their version of Everybody's Talking that would come soon. Similar kind of chords. Nice song, actually, really nice. And we follow that up with Thunder by Prince. Again, we're really, really on a roll now. Great song. It's almost like When Doves Cry Part 2. It starts quite Spartan, and then it just goes more and more bonkers as it goes on. Very much one of those Prince kind of almost spiritual things, like the voice of God. Don't really know what it's about. Love first came to me with a radio on. That's a great line. And his backing band now is the New Power Generation, as opposed to the Revolution. I think the song was on, was it Diamonds and Pearls? So yeah, great song, really good. And we follow this up with U2, even better than The Real Thing. Now, there were 2 mixes of this. I think it was a Paul Oakenfold club mix. It was really, really good, really big. But the original's not bad. It's maybe a bit more kind of old school U2 after some of their more modern things. But it's very gospel-y in a way, very uplifting. Yeah, I like it. LSI, The Shaman. Love, Sex, Intelligence. Unless it says LS1 and it's Leeds postcode. This was the song that was immediately before Ebenezer Good. So it's kind of the Ebenezer Good without the naughty jokes. And let's be honest, those jokes really made Ebenezer Good what it is. So it's very kind of Shaman by numbers. But, you know, it's not bad. Right, now we've got one that I'm going to be sticking on, because this is a real supergroup. There are 3 characters involved in this song. They had a couple of hits throughout the very late 80s and early 90s, and they comprise 3 people who are in massive bands. See if you can work out who it is. It's electronic, which is basically Johnny Marr, Bernard Sumner from New Order, and Neil Tennant. What an amazing combination. It's not a bad song, actually. It's a pretty good song. It's not as good as Getting Away With It or Get the Message, but it's still good. It's still high quality. Neil Tennant does a good job with the vocals. I don't quite know what Bernie does, probably all the electronics and production, Johnny on guitars and stuff. Yeah, electronic. They were certainly a very interesting 90s version of a supergroup. Followed up by our old friend Shakespeare's Sister. Significantly better than Stay, I thought, I Don't Care. It's a very kind of enigmatic, quite fast-paced song. Siobhan does her own little inimitable bit in the middle, kind of talking absolute gibberish. But I'm sure it means something. Yeah, it's a very catchy little song, I Don't Care. It's almost reminiscent of the early 80s, kind of post-punk in a good way. Right, we'll follow that up with Carter USM, The Unstoppable Sex Machine. Do, re, mi, so far, so good. Do you remember Carter? They were the missing link between a kind of synth duo and an indie band. They were basically a synth duo with loads of really heavy guitars and a really cheap drum machine. Like, you know, the cheapest drum machine money could buy, like one you get from £2 from Wilco. Do, re, mi, so far, so good. It's okay. I think their best songs, well, Sheriff Fat Man and The Only Living Boy in New Cross stand out for me. I think they're still going, or Jim Bob is still going anyway. Kind of political, kind of anarchic. Follow this one up with Everything About You by Ugly Kid Joe. This is kind of cheeky, humorous metal, really. Kind of heavy metal, just saying how he hates everything about the person, can't stand anything about them. It's kind of comic book metal, really. It's quite good. We follow this one up with another dance classic, which I'm going to stick on. It's SL2, Slipmat and Lime, and On a Ragga Tip. And here we really go kind of, again, proper rave. It's still highly commercial song in a way. Well, I wouldn't say it's commercial. It's not. It doesn't sound commercial. It's just popular. There's a difference. A commercial song is one where in the studio they're like, let's make loads and loads of money. Let's tailor this song to a mass audience. A song like this, I think when they were in the studio, they were just making an underground rave tune, and then it just caught on and became popular. This is definitely a herald of almost jungle and drum and bass, which are almost literally around the corner now. You probably won't really hear them on the Now album. I feel like there's a kind of parallel universe of underground music and now music. I'll do the underground stuff separately, because 1992 had some great underground tunes, like The Age of Love, which will never make it anywhere near a Now album, or maybe about 5 years later. So we're very much in the pop sphere, whereas dance music was going off on its own journey, plus indeed rock and indie. With tunes like SL2, Bridge the Gap, they start off dance. They're popular, everyone loves it, and before you know it, hit. Ditto the Orb, Blue Room. This was a great album. This was an album that I first really got high to be honest. If I'm putting in any personal stuff. Yeah, 92. And the Orb, welcome to the 420, let's say. And Blue Room was basically like a kind of 3.5 minute edit of a really long song, like a 20-minute song. The Orb were great, really, really good. This is the first kind of proper kind of ambient track on a Now album. Kind of ambient electronic dub. Not really song-based in a normal way. And on top of the pops, the appearance basically comprised of them playing chess for 3 minutes. But yeah, it's lavishly produced, groundbreaking in terms of the development of dance music. UF Orb is the album, Blue Room the track. Bloody good, really, really good. Great way to end this side, which started abysmally and has ended amazingly. Okay, on to side 2, and we start with Richard Marx and Hazard. So we're well away from the rave. And I've noticed that this now sort of done away with the side of dance. It seems like normally that's on disc 2 or side 3. Whereas we go the absolute opposite way here. We've got Richard Marx and Hazard, which is a really good song. It's one of those sort of story songs, a bit like Blue Hotel by Chris Isaak. It's sort of middle town, small town America, very mysterious, kind of Twin Peaksy thing. There's obviously some mysterious events happen, a big tragedy or a disaster, maybe a murder or something, and the singer's like a kind of outcast of a character that Richard Marx plays. I'm not going to play it because it's one you have to really listen to the lyrics to, and me yabbering away over it just going to kill it really. Check it out though, Richard Marx, Hazard. Right, The One, Elton John, that's next. Elton ballad, by numbers in a way. No, it's a nice Elton ballad. If you like Elton ballads, it hits the spot. Now, a posthumous release now, if that's the right word, for Roy Orbison. I'm just getting the next one queued up. And this is a great song, I Drove All Night. I think Cyndi Lauper did the original. This must have been recorded just before he died. And it's a good driving song up there with Brian May, Driven by You. Okay. Now, this is a song I've rediscovered actually. Like the last couple of years I've been listening to it, and it's a bloody good song. Alright, the verse is basically him just talking in his normal Geordie accent. The chorus and the whole structure and the whole kind of concept is a really good pop song. Why it's Jimmy Nail, Ain't No Doubt. Last on an Now album years and years ago with Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Here he's back with, I'm guessing it's an original. I don't know if he wrote it himself or he had a team of people. And it's bloody good. It's kind of like a band with a soul-to-soul-y kind of groove, but I don't know if it's real drums. It certainly sounds like it's got some nice Chic-style, funky guitars. Really good backing vocals. It's kind of a duet between Kimmy and this girl. She's laying. She's laying. And it's just a really catchy chorus, sing-along. It's got a kind of soul aesthetic to it, like a big band soul thing. It made number 1. And, yeah, man, this is really good. I'm actually liking Kimmy's songs. You know, he's someone that maybe you don't think you'd like his music. But if you actually listen to it, it's really well done. She's laying. I love it. Really like it. Classic pop, really. Okay, Unchain My Heart next. Another classic song. Loads of people have done it, like Ray Charles, Trini Lopez, Joe Cocker of all people. There's someone that you thought was long forgotten. He's back with a few hits, as gravelly as ever. It's a pretty good version. It's kind of in the early 90s kind of rock style. He sounds like he's eaten 12 razor blades before going to the studio. It's a pretty good version. Curtis Stigers follows with You're All That Matters to Me. Very much follow on from I Wonder Why, kind of ballady, middle of the road. Ditto Wilson Phillips, You Won't See Me Cry. I really can't remember it, but I know what all their songs sound like. I could be wrong. I'm guessing, I'm assuming it's this kind of AOR Californian harmony stuff. 4 Seasons in One Day. I was talking about Crowded House and their weather fixation. Weather With You, 4 Seasons in One Day. It's good. It's another good kind of acoustic-y, folky song. It's not as good as Weather With You, but it's still a good song. Annie Lennox is back now, solo. I think Eurythmics are taking a bit of a hiatus. And why? Another ballad. Her voice is stunning, but I always found the song a bit slow for me. Now, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, George and Elton. Yeah, you know, I do like some slow songs, but not why. This is a classic duet. This is one of the best duets of all time. This is George Michael at his absolute best. Just singing on stage to an adoring audience. Bringing on, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John, 2/3 of the way through, who just storms it. They sing so well together, and the crowd love it. It's a brilliant, brilliant version of the song, really. And it was a fundraiser. So nice one, guys. Diana Ross is back with yet another ballad. God, there's been lots of ballads on this now. This is a really ballady one. It's full of ballads. One Shining Moment. Yeah, right, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Diana Ross. But, you know, there's only so many ballads you can have. And another one, Save the Best for Last, Vanessa Williams, Yawn. Okay, something to wake us up a bit now. En Vogue and My Loving. I think this is another classic. They're kind of a more singy rather than rappy version of Salt and Pepper, really. And they're definitely influential. This is now really approaching stuff that is 2020 in style. This does not look or feel 28 years old. This literally could have come out yesterday. It's just really, really good R&B. Great groove, great lyrics, some good kind of jokey bits in the thing where it all stops. And now it's time for a breakdown. Great harmonies. Only 4 million views. That really surprises me, actually. I thought they'd have way more than that. En Vogue, another strong song next. Joy by Soul to Soul. Great song for them after a few mediocre ones. They're back with a slightly different groove for their old stuff, which is nice. Gospel-y, carnival soul. Really good song, Joy. And finally, I think it's finally, Don't You Worry About a Thing. Another cover, Stevie Wonder song, but a great cover by Incognito. Kind of acid jazz, really, I suppose. Jazz funk. Pretty faithful to the original, but a good kind of update with very much live sounding brass and stuff. No general MIDI crap. All right, now 22 then. This is a real curious egg. When I looked at the track listing at the beginning, I was like, my God, all I'm going to be doing on this is just slacking off the songs. But by about track 7, it's got rid of all the shit from its system, and it's really getting good. Certainly tracks 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, there's about 6 good songs in a row there. If we go through them order. Yeah, finally. Order. Who am I? John Burko? Order! Right, finally by Ce Peniston. Yep, club classic, karaoke, disco, dance diva song. Rhythm is a Dancer, I guess, is kind of a club classic. other songs would do the same thing better. Something Good by Utah Saints, definitely. Friday I'm in Love is a kind of just pop classic, indie classic. I think Thunder by Prince, it's not one of his most well-known songs, but it's Prince. Ditto U2, even better than The Real Thing. I think Disappointed by Electronics, pretty well-known still. On a Ragged Tip, SL2, absolutely. The Orb, if not Blue Room, the album, UF Orb. Hazard by Richard Marx, I think that song's still really popular. I Drove All Night, maybe, Roy Orbison. Maybe the Cyndi Lauper version's more popular. Ain't No Doubt, if you remember it. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. I think that's a classic. My Loving This, yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's still quite a lot of classics on here. From the music itself, it seems like rave is disappearing a bit, but that's not really the case for what was going on in '92. I guess it was diverging a bit from the pop charts. There's still some rave on here, if you include things like The Orb. But you got SL2, I suppose. But it's more AOR and stuff. There's an awful lot of ballads. So yeah, it feels like it's a bit of a disappointment, really. But it's not bad. It's still got some great songs. Just one that you'd probably pick half of. Like half of it would make a really good single disc. Alright then, Now 22. I'll probably be back later today with Now 23. Thank you, take care, see you later, bye.